Welcome to Consultation Saturdays on Mindful Chatting. I want to start off with something that might sound a little blunt, but maybe needs to be said. Most therapists don't fail at building a private practice because they lack skill. They fail because their goals are just a little too vague, or maybe even a little too big, or completely disconnected from how their business actually works. You'll hear things like, I want to grow my practice, or I want to make more money, or I just need more clients. But when you ask how, there's no really clear answer here, right? And that's where people kind of get stuck. So today we're going to break down this in a very practical way for you. Not motivational, not fluffy, but how to actually build a goal for yourself, how to break it into something actually usable for you, and how to make it realistic for a private practice. Let's go.
Welcome to Mindful Chatting, a podcast where therapy meets real life. I'm Kristen, a therapist, business owner, and a lifelong student of what it means to fully show up in our relationships, in our work, and in our healing. Here, we unpack mental health concepts, explore mindfulness tools, and talk through the messy, beautiful, in-between moments that shape us. Whether you're a fellow clinician, a curious listener, or someone navigating your own growth, this space is for you. Let's chat.
Start this off with the difference between outcome goals and process goals. So this is where the place where I think people mess up the most. They only focus on what's the outcome goal that they're trying to reach. I want to make $8,000 a month, or I want 20 clients, or I want a full caseload. That's the destination that we may be trying to reach and go to, but your brain doesn't know how to execute a destination, unfortunately. It needs a process, it needs a system. And process goals kind of sound like, how many clients do I need per week? How many referrals are needed? How many marketing actions per week might I need? And how often are you showing up? Outcome is where you're going to go, where process is how you are going to get there. If you skip the process, you're going to stay stuck in intention, and that's not movable. You're not going to see the outcomes that you're looking for, and that's where you're going to feel really, really stuck. So I'm going to start with revenue math, but this actually changes everything. And let's make this real. Instead of, I want to make more money, I want you to ask yourself, what do I actually want to make per month? I know they kind of sound the same, but they're very different. So let's say it's $6,000 a month. Now we're going to break it down. If you charge $100 a session, that's 60 sessions per month, which is about 15 sessions per week. That sounds pretty reasonable, right? But now suddenly your goal isn't abstract. It's, I need 15 clients per week. That's actionable. That's something that we can strive and work for. And that also is about what you're doing on a daily basis. So if you have a cancellation that day, and let's say you had 25 clients planned, do I really need to fill that slot? Or is that something where I can actually work on administration and systems and other things? Or no, I do need to fill that slot. I need to have at least 15 clients per week. And that's where things become a system for you so that you know what you need to do, not guessing and trying to figure out, well, I don't know where I'm going to be at the end of every single month.
If you want to understand your ADHD in a deeper way, I've created the ADHD Crash Course, and it walks you through ADHD step by step so that you can actually start understanding your brain and not shaming it. Everything's in small, doable lessons designed for your ADHD in mind. The link is in the show notes.
Let's zoom in a little bit further. Ask, how many clients do I currently have right now? Let's say you have 8 clients and you want 15. That means you need 7 more clients, right? But now your brain has clarity, not I need to grow or I need to expand. Those can be a little bit too vague for your brain and for yourself, but I need 7 clients. That's completely different level of focus. And that also helps you say, do I need to expand my referral system? Do I need to go out for 7 clients? Or do I need to be a little bit particular about the type of client that I'm seeing? Or I need 7 clients, but what type of clients and population do I want to work with? What's going to actually fill those 7 client spots? Where are those spots? Am I filling them up in the morning? Are they going to have to be available at night? This is stuff that you have to start thinking about so that when you have people that may be outreaching to you, you can basically lay out on the table, hey, look, I'm not at capacity. I have availability, but I'm only available on Saturdays at 8 a.m. or I'm only available on Tuesdays at 12. If that's not going to work for you, then this isn't going to work. I think what happens is when we say we need more clients, we just start accepting every referral that comes in and we'll vet them out later. But we should be doing a lot of vetting and a lot of that in the beginning so that we're not kind of stringing clients along and we're also not stringing ourselves along. If we keep taking in clients that are only available on Friday nights when that's pretty booked for us, we're going to look like we have a really big growing practice, but we actually can't see any of these clients. So that's going to cause a lot of frustration for you, and it's going to cause a lot of frustration on the client's end as well. But if you start saying these things like, yes, I need 7 more clients, but when do I need 7 more clients? When do I have these 7 available appointments so that I can be honest and open and transparent as clients reach out for me or even referral places reach out to me so I can tell them, yes, I have appointments, but this is when I'm actually available to see these people. Now, I also want to talk about quarterly mapping. And here's where people either get really overwhelmed themselves or they just kind of quit. They try to do everything at once instead of let's break your goals down into quarters of the year. So for example, you need 7 clients, right? And we need to do it over the next 3 months. That's about 2 to 3 clients that you actually need to gain each month. So now the goal becomes I need 2 clients this month. That seems way easier of a goal than 7, right? And that becomes manageable. That becomes realistic for you. That doesn't trigger this overwhelm of where am I going to find these 7 clients? I just need to get 2 this month. And that becomes the focus for you so that when you walk in and start doing therapy and stop talking to these referral networks, you're not in this desperation mode to take whatever comes at you. You need 2 clients that fit with your schedule and you fit with their schedule.
Okay, quick pause. Because you've ever found yourself rewinding this episode like 3 times because your brain just drifted, this is for you. I hear this all the time. I can focus, just not when I actually need to. And that's exactly what the focus course is about. Because here's the truth. ADHD isn't a lack of attention, it's a regulation issue, which is why some days you're locked in for hours and other days you're rereading the same sentence, wondering what just happened. So inside my executive functioning focus course, I break this down in a way that actually makes sense for you. We go through how your attention works in your brain, your specific focus patterns, why you get distracted externally and internally, and how to actually build a system that helps you stay on track and come back when you drift. Because the goal isn't perfect focus, it's knowing how to return without spiraling. So if you're tired of blaming yourself and you just want something that actually works with your brain, I'll link the focus course in the show notes. All right, let's get back to this episode.
So let's talk about this question of like, where do clients actually come from? And this is where strategy really matters for you. Clients just don't appear out of thin air randomly. They come from your referrals, your directories, your social media accounts, your networking, and a lot of your content. So now ask, where are my clients coming from now? And think about where do I want them to come from? Because your actions should match your source. So if you're looking for people in a specific like niche that you want to work with, then that should be driving a lot of your referrals and a lot of your content and a lot of your marketing because that's the type of clients that you're trying to bring into your practice. We also need to make actionable weekly objectives for yourself. kind of just like a treatment plan. Now, we're going to build this actual system, not I'm going to try harder this week, because that's just vague and that doesn't help anyone. But we're going to be specific and we're going to be repeatable in these actions. So, for example, we're going to update our profiles on our directories on maybe Psychology Today or therapist.com, wherever you post your profile. Maybe we're going to reach out to 2 referral sources this week, or I'm going to post 2 pieces of content that is going to be about the niche that I'm trying to work with. Or I'm going to follow up on any inquiries that I get. Or I'm going to attend 1 networking event. Now your week has direction. And now you feel like you're actually taking steps toward this bigger goal, but you're basing it back on what my weekly objective is instead of I just need to find 2 clients this month. So why do people still don't follow through? Let's be honest, even with a plan, people still don't execute it. And I'm raising my hand here. Sometimes I don't do it either. But why? Why don't we do it? And it might be because our goals are just really too big, or maybe our expectations are just really unrealistic for our practice and ourselves, or maybe we're just burnt out and we don't have the emotional capacity and that's not considered in as we're making our goals and our objectives. Or maybe a lot of our perfectionism is actually blocking a lot of our action. So instead of saying, what should I do? I want you to ask yourself, what can I realistically sustain for myself this week? And then that builds consistency. And consistency actually is what builds a practice, not intensity. I also want to talk about building goals that match your life. And I think this is a big one. This is the part where most business advice just really ignores, because I don't think it really touches on the person and their emotional capacity. You are not just a business owner. You are a clinician. You're a human. You're someone who has limits. You're someone with a nervous system. Yep, that's true. Your goals need to match that. Your goals need to match your energy. They need to match your schedule. They need to match your capacity, not some ideal version of you that's randomly going to show up in the next week, because trust me, she doesn't show up. You need to realistically make these goals and these subjectives for what your capacity is at this moment right now, not what you want it to be. So, this is the kind of structure that helps you. This is exactly why I created that private practice mind mapping. And if you're interested in learning more about mind mapping, we have an episode all about this when it comes to mind mapping for your private practice. Because a lot of clinicians don't struggle with ideas. We have a ton of ideas. We actually struggle with organizing them and implementing them into something that is usable, not just for our clients, but for ourselves. So if you want something visual to map your services, your referrals, and your growth, I'll leave that in the show notes for you. So if you're feeling stuck in your practice, it's probably not because you're not capable. It's because your goals aren't clear enough to actually act on them. And so once you move from I want more to this is exactly what I need to do, everything will change for you. I want to thank you for joining me on these consultation Saturdays. And again, be gentle with your mind. One more thing before you go, and this helps me personally, staying present and grounded, which we all need, especially when your brain wants to spiral into disconnection. Me too. It's Brain FM. It's musically designed to help ADHD brains, well, really anyone's brain, focus, relax, or sleep, and I use it almost daily. If you want to try it, I've dropped my link in the show notes. And if you're looking for planning tools or ADHD-friendly resources, I'll keep a list of my favorite links in every episode.